Okay, so also in light of this, like, where is Jesus? He's seated in the heavenly realms, right? He's far above all rule and authority. So, guess who's on his throne? Guess who's on his throne no matter who is leading our nation in government? Guess who's leading his throne? Guess who's on his throne? No matter who's leading the other nations of the world in government. No one takes him off his throne. No one. No president, no prime minister, no dictator, no terrorist, no one. No one takes him off his throne. Also, it says in Ephesians 3:16 and 17, I pray that out of his glorious riches he may strengthen you with power through his Spirit in your inner being, so that Christ may dwell in your hearts through faith. So also, obviously, we know Jesus also lives in our hearts, right? He lives in us. He's here. He's all around us. He's in heaven. And guess what? Where are we? Same Ephesians. I'm just telling you, Ephesians, so much good food here. All right, chapter 2, verse 4. But because of his great love for us, God, who is rich in mercy, made us alive with Christ, even when we were dead in transgressions. It is by grace you have been saved. God raised us up with Christ, seated us with him in heavenly realms. Where are you? You're in heavenly realms. Listen, we were never meant to live with this concept that we're trying to live from earth to heaven. Like we're trying to get there. We're trying to pull things down. We're trying our best to figure out what's going on in heaven. No, actually, we live in heaven. We live in heaven. We live here. It doesn't work in your natural mind. Like it doesn't compute very well in our natural mind. But that's great news is because we're spiritual beings, we don't have to just understand with our natural mind. We get to understand by the Spirit. And so we actually are meant to live from heaven to earth. So we actually get to look around heaven and see what's going on. We actually have the same rule and authority and dominion with Jesus, right? So guess who still lives in the heavenly realms no matter who is running the government? You, me, us, okay? So there's this whole realm that we live from, that we govern from, that we see from, that is not earthly. It's not. So it might be a good idea for us to see, right? For us to see what's going on around us in the heavenly realms. Because that's where we govern from. And we bring that to earth. We aren't down here like, oh, like God, like I just don't know what's going to happen. I'm just, And I'm not saying it's not a struggle. I'm not talking about being perfect in it. I struggle all the time. I just literally have to tell the Lord, I don't even know if you're big enough for this. So you're going to have to open my eyes. Because in my natural eyes, in my natural emotions, when things don't work out the way that I want them to, and I don't see that rule, authority, and dominion the way that I want it to here, then I can get a little bit discouraged and disillusioned and disappointed, right? So the great news is that we were created to not just process things in our earthly selves. We're actually heavenly beings. And so I love it when he told me one time, like, in Philippians, when it says, don't be anxious, but give thanks and prayer, and the peace that passes understanding will guard your heart and mind. And the Lord was like, so guess what? You don't have to understand to have peace. That was a revelation. That was the spirit of wisdom and revelation that day for me. And just this week, he was reminding me in Proverbs, it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on what? Your own understanding. And so that's where we just have to trade it. We just have to trade it in. We trade in our own understanding for his. And we just look and we see. And that's what we want to do. That's what even we're going to do today. Yay!